Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our daily Hindu editorial analysis. You are with Alpa Sharma on India's largest online education platform, that is Gradeup. How are you guys today? How are you doing? Good morning, Dinesh, Harsh, Prajwal, Amrit, Shreya, Aarti. Very good morning. I'm absolutely fine. Not actually absolutely fine. I'm a little unwell, but then it's okay. The show must go on, as I always say. Good morning, everyone. How are studies going on? I hope you've downloaded your admit cards. Uh, I'm fine. I'm not really good. A little unwell, but it's okay. Yes, it's okay. It's okay. All right, let's now look at the agenda of this session. Okay. All right. Let's move on to our agenda of the day. So, today is 15th of July. I had a really difficult time yesterday. I had a really difficult time, which is very unlikely because I just could not decide what articles to take. I could not find a second article very important in both the newspapers. In the Hindu, the Indian Express, I read both the papers in details. In detail, I just could not find a second article very relevant. I still have taken two articles today, but one article we're just going to skim. Okay, we'll not read that in very detail because I don't think it's very important. So I am going to take two articles from the 14th of July and we'll be discussing two articles from the Hindu. One is an important one, the other is a very mediocre one. And I could not find a very important article in the Indian Express as well because the Indian Express also spoke about exactly the both things which the Hindu spoke about. So one will skim, the other will talk about in detail. All right. इसको निकालो पहले क्लास से. Okay. Video team, if you're listening, please send him out. Very good morning, Anugrah. Very good morning. चलो आगे देखते हैं क्या agenda होगा. We'll be discussing one quote of the day. Then we'll have three questions revision from yesterday's class. We had a lot of vocabulary. So we'll be revising three questions from yesterday's class. We'll do two detailed articles and a detailed discussion. Entire vocabulary, phrasal verb, and idioms. Yesterday we have idioms from those two articles that we discussed, and in the end you'll tell me the tone and the summary of the article in the comment section. And before I start off with our teaching, we have flat 50% off going on our Gradeup super programs. So if you're targeting any of these examinations, CLAT, ALET, SLAT, MHCET, whatever examination you're targeting, you can avail a 50% off using this code. This is our counselor's number. Please speak to them if you want to avail this offer. And I have told you enough about this batch that we are launching where we'll be studying exclusively English and critical reasoning. If you want to master these two subjects, you can enroll yourself for this batch. I am going to teach in this batch along with a couple of other people as well. So if you're targeting CLAT 22, 23 or आपको अपना English or critical reasoning ace करना है, this batch is for you. Three preview classes of this batch have already ended. Today we're going to start off with the formal classes of this batch. I'm going to start off with grammar in this batch today, and gradually we're going to jump on to some reading comprehension and critical reasoning and course of action and topics alike. And if you're targeting CLAT 2022, we have a comprehensive course specifically for you designed. So we have approximately 8 months left, and during the 8 months, अनिल उसकी फीस कितनी होती है? कोई बता दो स्मार्ट फैक्ट को. अनिल उसकी फीस कितनी होती है? Current affairs, Mansi, if you're targeting CLAT 21, you can stop reading current affairs now. Okay. Bhagyashri, if you are asking about editorials, you should be reading editorials till the last date. Okay, so if there are something not very, very important, I'll not pay a lot of heed to them. I'll be discussing only those editorials that are important because reading them will keep you in a loop of understanding a lot of things. So do not stop reading the editorial. Okay, if Amrit says so, I don't know about this. ठीक है, किसको निकालना है? निकाल दिया मुझे लगता है. Okay, चलो. All right, chalo, let's move on. I could not, but I was not well. I could not check yesterday's summary. I was not keeping well. Okay, so I'll check it today. I'll check today's summary and yesterday's summary, both of it today together. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Quote of the day, कौन बताएगा? Who will tell me the quote of the day? Ashita, I'm going to check the summary today. I wasn't well. Who will tell me the quote of the day? Yes, technology mood अच्छा कर देता है, इसको निकालना नहीं चाहिए था बैच से यार, ये बड़ा distracting था actually. Yes. You cannot change your future, but you can change your habits, and surely your habits will change your future. Absolutely. So, आपका future क्या है? Possibly you don't have a control over that. Very, very good. But you can certainly change your habits. You might work harder. You might get up early in the morning. You might exercise. Do these things. Keep your mind fresh. Study harder. Practice harder. And that might actually change your future. So, a very good quote. And Aarti, I love your quote. An expert in anything was once a beginner. Absolutely, including myself. I was never I was not born an expert. I don't belong to an English speaking household. I did not study in a school that had very good English. I learned it. I worked hard towards it. And what about reasoning? कौन सिखाएगा ये आपको? That comes naturally with some practice, with some question solving. So nobody is born an expert, but practice makes you one. So yes, I absolutely love this quote that you have shared. चलिए, हाँ तो Netflix बंद करो और पढ़ाई करो. Very good. Netflix में वैसे भी everything is so boring. I don't even remember last time I opened Netflix. Even if I've taken a year subscription, मुझे याद भी नहीं मैंने कब last Netflix खोल के और उसमें से कुछ पढ़ा था. Sorry, देखा था. I don't even remember. चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं. Let's look at the vocabulary of yesterday's class and revise it. What is one word for questioning something in a harsh or intense manner? Is it elucidate? Is it inquisitorial? Is it enmash? Or is it frugal? We've done all the words in yesterday's class. Tell me, what is it? Okay, so Rishika, since you're asking, it's poem. Okay? Good, very good. Little. बताइए आंसर क्या है? बी. Very good. Yes, you should, Dinesh. You should stop reading current affairs now. Answer is absolutely B, inquisitorial. मैंने आपको word quiz से याद कराया था, if you remember. Somebody who asks a lot of questions, like in a quiz, is an inquisitive person. So inquisitorial. Elucidate is to explain in a detailed manner. And mesh is to, get stuck in a mesh. Okay, you can't pass through. Frugal is meager, very, very bare minimum. All right, next question. A person who acts as a link between people in order to try and bring about an agreement. Scrutiny, discord, intermediaries, thespian. बताइए क्या होगा आंसर? Yes, entangled, Lauren, correct. Frugal is meager. Yes, little, it is important. Answer is yes. The answer is C. Intermediaries, correct. Absolutely correct. The answer is C. Scrutiny, to get into the detail of something. You evaluate it by going in depth of it. Discord is disagreement. That's discord. A thespian is an actor. One word for incapable of producing any useful result, something that is pointless. Is it guy? Is it pursuit? Is it relentless? Is it futile? What is it? Okay. Yes, it's discord is disagreement. स्क्रूटिनी को प्रोब भी बोल सकते हो आप. You're correct, आशुतोष. The answer is D. Absolutely D. It's not C, Parth. It is not relentless. It is futile. Absolutely correct. Futile is pointless, useless, without any important factor in it. Guile is somebody who is naive, who is a cunning person, who can cheat anybody. Cunning. Guileless was the opposite of it. We did a lot of synonyms as well. Pursuit is to wholeheartedly follow something. Okay, so in the pursuit of happiness, एक movie जो मैंने कल बताई थी आपको, you wholeheartedly are trying to follow happiness is the pursuit of happiness. What is relentless? Who will tell me what is relentless? What is relentless? Relentless कौन बताएगा? Some signs of discord in a child can be good. It helps the child learn more things. I disagree a little. Being a mother myself, I disagree with this. Nonetheless, discord का मतलब, relentless का मतलब क्या हुआ? Yes, increasingly, unceasingly intense. Absolutely correct, Anjali. Absolutely correct. All right. So we've done with yesterday's vocabularies revision. Let us now look at today's vocabulary. There's a lot of it. Article important नहीं, but vocabulary अच्छी है, so we can just memorize those words. All right. So let's look at first word, redemption. Redemption is when you repentance जब होता है, जब आप basically चाहते हो that you saved from any ill doing that you've done. That is redemption. Usually कोई sin किया है आपने, कुछ गलत काम किया है आपने, और जब आप you want yourself to be saved from it. That is redemption. God's plans for the redemption of this world. World को वो कैसे बचाएंगे क्योंकि world ने गलत किया है. All right. So this is redemption. Next word, replete. Replete is enough. बहुत अच्छा, sufficient supply of something is replete. Sensational popular fiction replete with adultery. So this ये ना actually चेतन भगत की बात कर रहा है. ये जो sentence है, ये चेतन भगत जैसी novels की बात कर रहा है. उसमें sensational है, adultery है, sudden death, ऐसी बातें चेतन भगत की books में जरूर होती हैं. So replete is enough supply of something. Full to the brim. Compelling. Compelling is something that is very provoking. Something that ignites your interest is compelling. His eyes were strangely compelling, that it ignited your interest. And they're very provoking to us. Provoking not in a negative manner. It does not provoke your anger here. Provoking an interest or admiration is compelling. Okay. All right. Okay. चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं. Plumbed the depth. Depth आपको पता है क्या होता है? जो भी चीज की कितनी गहराई है, that is depth. And plumbing is to go down to the depth. So technically to measure, to go till the end is to plumb the depth. To reach the lowest point of something, reach the nadir, nadir of something. Next is dogmatic. Dogmatic is a person who is concerned excessively with rules. तो जैसे आपको rules बता दिए, आपको rules follow करने पड़ेंगे. That is a dogmatic. A dogmatic preacher of a religion. इसका मतलब वो ये बोलता है कि religion में जो लिखा है वो follow करना बहुत जरूरी है. That's dogmatic. She was not tempted to be dogmatic about what she believed in. Dogmatic मतलब वो principles, rules को बहुत follow करेगा. Undeniably follow करेगा. Next is verve. Verve is enthusiastic. Very, very, a lot of vigor, enthusiasm, excitement is verve. Colosigns with supreme verve and flexibility. So supreme enthusiasm and flexibility. आया सबको सारे वर्ड समझ में? It varies little. It varies from approximately 28 to 32. फिर आ गई ये टेक्नोलॉजी. आप बच गए हो टेक्नोलॉजी. देखो अभी तक आपको निकाला नहीं है, कुछ गड़बड़ मत कर देना. ओके. All right. चलो let's look at acumen. Acumen is a person who has the ability, who is wise and ability to make good decision. We can say judges have they show acumen. Okay, because they have ability to take good decisions and they are wise and learn it. That is acumen. Next word is discord. Discord is देखो एक तो हुआ discordance. Just a minute. Dogmatic फिर explain करूं मैं? ठीक है, verb भी explain करते चलो. Let's go back. 1 minute. 1 minute, guys. Give me 1 minute. Okay, so yes, I am explaining compelling also. सबसे पहले compelling देखो. Compelling का मतलब होता है कोई भी चीज जो कि आपको बहुत attract करती है, बहुत अटेंशन ड्रॉ करती है अपनी तरफ. ये हो गया कंपेलिंग. ठीक है. नेक्स्ट वर्ड क्या पूछना था आपको? वर्व का मतलब. वर्व इज एंथुजियाज्म, एक्साइटमेंट इज वर्व. जब बच्चों को हम पार्क लेके जाते हैं, व्हाट इज दे फुल ऑफ वर्व. ओके, सो अ लॉट ऑफ एक्साइटमेंट. देन वी हैव अ क्वेश्चन ऑन डॉगमैटिक. डॉगमैटिक एमिली मैं फिर से बताती हूँ. डॉगमैटिक इज वो पर्सन जो बहुत रूल्स को अलाइन करता है एंड ही बिलीव्स इन फॉलोइंग द रूल्स स्ट्रिक्टली. जो भी रूल्स होते हैं. अब इसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आपको अगर कोर्ट ने कह दिया कि ये रूल्स आपको ये फॉलो करना है आप डॉगमैटिक हो. नो, दैट इज नॉट डॉगमैटिक. डॉगमैटिक इज रिलीजन के रूल्स जो फॉलो करना, प्रिंसिपल्स के रूल्स जो फॉलो करना. मेरा प्रिंसिपल है दैट आई विल नॉट गो आउट इन द नाइट आफ्टर 8. ऐसा प्रिंसिपल है नहीं, एग्जाम्पल दे रही हूँ. आई विल नॉट गो आउट इन द नाइट आफ्टर 8 and I will strictly follow that and I will expect my children to also follow that. That's dogmatic. Okay, I hope you understand that. Okay, all right. Verb बताया मीशा मैंने फिर से. Enthusiasm, tempting, compelling का हो सकता है वृंदा. Yes. Pragmatic तो practical हो गया, तो उसका उल्टा dogmatic आप बोल सकते हो. Yes. Okay. Due to financial struggles, the man was compelled to give baby for adoption. Yes, very good sentence. बहुत अच्छे. चलो अब आगे बढ़ते हैं. ओके, acumen मैंने आपको बता दिया. acumen is ability to make good judgments. तो हम किसी भी learned person के लिए acumen यूज कर सकते हैं. discord हमने आज मॉर्निंग में वर्ड किया था, सो आई विल नॉट रिपीट द मीनिंग ऑफ द वर्ड. एक डिस्कॉर्ड हो गया डिसएग्रीमेंट और एक डिस्कॉर्ड हो गया एक ऐसा बहुत ही डिस्टर्बिंग साउंड जो कि फ्लुएंट नहीं है, सुर में नहीं है. वैसा साउंड को आप डिस्कॉर्ड बोल सकते हो. डिस्कॉर्ड कैन ऑल्सो बी डिसएग्रीमेंट. ओके. री इनविगोरेट. देखो एक वर्ड है इनविगोरेट, किसी को फ्रेश बनाना. री इनविगोरेट रिफ्रेश करना किसी चीज को is reinvigorate. I hope you get this. Reinvigorate समझ में आया सबको? Okay. Then is, just a minute. Dogmatic, authoritative हो सकता है बेटा. They're related words. All right. Acha, oh, by the way, now Little is constantly asking last week's suggestion of English. Now, since most of you are online, I have to tell you this. We are coming up with a 7 days, 7 classes on various subjects. What should you do in the last 7 days? So make that starts from I think Sunday. Make sure you watch all of these. And Friday I'm coming up with oh sorry, I'm just a little unwell today. I'm so sorry. Friday I'm coming up with a critical reasoning marathon. So make sure you watch that. ठीक है? स्क्रीन नहीं आ रही दिनेश, इसको रिफ्रेश करो बच्चे. Yes, Lauren, very good sentence. Very good sentence. चलो जल्दी से आगे देखते हैं. Words. Prevalence. Prevalence is a fact or condition जो कि हर जगह present है. It's common. Present everywhere is prevalent. Okay? Beaten path. Beaten path is जो देखो कोई एक रोड है, सब लोग वो रोड लेते रहते हैं. देखिए walking on it, walking on it, walking on it. It's a beaten path. Something that's very commonly followed is a beaten path. You take the beaten path. You want to be an engineer, you're taking a beaten path. Almost everyone is doing that. All right. Yes, I'm coming live with the marathon on YouTube on critical reasoning on Friday. Reinvigorate. नहीं बच्चे मैंने आपको बताया ना, इनविगोरेट इज फ्रेश बनाना किसी चीज को. री इनविगोरेट किसी चीज को रिफ्रेश करना. ओके, ऑल राइट यार, समझ नहीं आता तो देखेंगे, मैराथन में समझ में आना चाहिए आपको। द लास्ट वन इज मल। मल इज जब आप बहुत डीपली सोच रहे हो किसी चीज के बारे में, यू थिंकिंग इन डेप्थ अबाउट इट, सो यू मलिंग ओवर इट, ओके। She began to mull over the various possibilities, think about it in detail. Next, आई होप ये सबको समझ में आ गया, जल्दी से स्क्रीनशॉट ले लो इसका। नेक्स्ट वन, hasten, in a rush, to do something in a rush, in a hasty manner. Hasty manner is also in a rush. Okay, last word is empirical. Empirical is based on theory rather than or rather experience rather than anything that is taught to you as logic. आप अपने experience से जो चीज निकालते हो, that is empirical. वो आपको जो पढ़ाया गया है उस पर डिपेंडेंट नहीं होता, it depends on your experience. They provided considerable empirical evidence to support their argument. उनके खुद के experience से जो evidence आया था वो. Okay. Overthinking is a related word, बच्चे. Does not necessarily mean, if you're thinking about something in detail, does not mean you're overthinking. इसका आंसर क्या होगा क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 का ABCD में से? You're mulling over it, okay? All right, yes, Lauren, very good. Hasty manner का मतलब बहुत जल्दी में. Technology? Okay. ऑल राइट, चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। हेस्टी बताया मैंने आपको, एम्पिरिकल भी बताया मैंने आपको। मैं फिर से बता देती हूँ, एम्पिरिकल का मतलब अपने एक्सपीरियंस पे बेस्ड कोई चीज अगर आप सीखते हो, रादर देन समथिंग बीइंग टॉट बाय समबडी और नॉट बाय लॉजिक बट डूइंग फॉलोइंग थिंग्स बाय योर एक्सपीरियंस। ठीक है, सो लॉजिक सेज ऑल ऑफ द पीपल इन द वर्ल्ड बिलीव इन इक्वलिटी, बट मेरा एम्पिरिकल एक्सपीरियंस ये बोलता है कि फ्रेंच दे डोंट बिलीव इन इक्वलिटी। So if you remember the story I told you about French, right? ठीक है, all right, चलो आगे बढ़ते हैं। Let's look at the articles. Now guys, I don't want you to now chat anymore because I will be explaining the article in detail. Please stick with me. First article बहुत जल्दी पढ़ाऊंगी because it's not a very important one, but it has very good vocabulary. So I'll be only reading the important lines. Second articles, according to me, is a very important one. So stick with me. How to tackle nervousness, बात करूंगी इसके बारे में towards the end of the class. Okay, so Redemption Road. This article basically talks about the violence the English fans did in the Euro 2020 Cup और कैसे वो violence actually surpass करता है पूरा match. We don't have to pay attention to the violence. We should be paying attention to how the match was and how everything turned out. Sports is replete with redemption stories. सब लोगों की redemption stories होती हैं sports में. Redemption मैंने आपको बता दिया था already word. Teams wrestling with their pasts before swimming towards the light of making a compelling plot lines. So a lot of teams who have bad pasts, they try to come up with a very good output in the match that they're playing in. So we get a lot of such stories in sports. इंडिया का भी अगर आप क्रिकेट टीम देखते हैं, बहुत सारी स्टोरीज है जहां देखो, जैसे वर्ल्ड कप जो लास्ट इंडिया ने जीता, कितने साल हो गए थे इंडिया स्ट्रगल करता था, फाइनल्स में आता था, वर्ल्ड कप नहीं जीत पाता था. So sports is full of such stories that where you are swimming from a bad past, a dark past, and you're moving towards a brighter future. But the giant footballing country's success following failure is more of a sequence than less of a narrative. और ये जो dark past से bright future का moment है, that's very frequently seen specifically in footballing countries. This millennium, Germany and France have plumbed the depths before rising to become world champions. पहले वो बिल्कुल lowest nadir of their career में थे, and suddenly you see them rise. But Italy's redemption story at Wembley on Sunday, a penalty shootout victory over England to secure its second ever European Championship, should not be seen through a reductionist lens. तो ये कह रहा है कि लेकिन अगर आप इटली का एग्जाम्पल देखोगे जो वेम्बली में हुआ, इसको आप इस तरीके से नहीं देख सकते हो. The triumph, the victory that Italy got represents the transformation of a proud but dogmatic footballing nation into a modern forward-looking side. So Italy used to be, देखो, most of the Europe feels that way, and they're proud as a nation, they're proud as a football team. लेकिन अब जब आप उनकी victory देख रहे हो, they're coming out as a modern, not a dogmatic, as a modern, forward-looking person with a singular aim of coming out of one of its darkest chapters. उनका darkest chapter क्या था? They did not qualify for the World Cup 2018 for the first time since 1958. 1958 से every year, every time जब World Cup होता था 2018 तक, they used to at least qualify in the finals. But यहाँ वो qualify भी नहीं कर पाए, and not in the finals, वो यहाँ qualify भी नहीं कर पाए, and that was the darkest part of the time. And but now when they have revived as a victorious team, as a forward-looking team, and as a modern team. Now, these lines I don't think are very, very important. Italy, now this is also not important क्योंकि ये उनके tournaments के बारे में बता रहा है, उनके players के बारे में बता रहा है. We don't have to pay heed to it. Italy, no doubt, had a generation of players schooled in progressive methods since their youth. So all the football players, since they were children, they've been trained. They've been trained by experts, and they've been trained in a very progressive manner. The 56-year-old, that is Mancini's, handling of the loss of the key personnel was smart, as was his role in shaping Italy's response after England went goal. ये भी match के बारे में है. I think I'm going to miss this as well. I don't think this is very, very important. I'm going to miss this as well. Okay. Denmark, by reaching the semi-final despite the traumatic exit of Christian, so एक उनका बहुत important player है, and the player had to be sent out, and it was traumatizing for them. Still, Denmark showed its collective spirit. They performed well. The only discordant notes, यहाँ discordant notes का मतलब क्या? Disturbing notes. In an otherwise excellent competition were English fans' violent behavior. तो पूरे series में आप जो खराब चीज देख रहे हो, that's the English fans' violent behavior. A lot of videos have surfaced. I'm sure you've seen those videos on the final day at the racist attacks on players who erred in the penalty shootout. Racist attack आपको ऐसे countries में बहुत देखने को मिलेंगे. You will not see something of that sort in India. Never. But in the long run, Euro 2020 will be remembered not for the violent behavior. It will be remembered for restoring Italian football. क्योंकि वो इतने depth से निकल के वापस revive करके आए हैं, reinvigorating international football and providing mildly therapeutic to fans worldwide amidst the pandemic. ये pandemic चल रहा है, बहुत chaos चल रहा है पूरे world में, तो ये ऐसे मैच कुछ pacify करते हैं हमारे mind को. They bring some solace to our mind. And that is how the Euro 2020 will be remembered. Not because of the violence, but because of the other positive things Euro 2020 has showed us. Now tell me, क्या हो गया? Oh, what is happening? चलो बताओ. Beaten path मैंने बताया था आपको, तान्या. Beaten path is something that is a lot of people have taken that. मैंने आपको engineering का example बताया था, right? Mal is to ponder. Yes, Prajwal, absolutely correct. चलिए बताइए जल्दी से मुझे tone of the author. Everyone, tone of the author. The second article is important. बताइए tone of the author. थेरेप्यूटिक बताती हूँ आदित्य आपको. थेरेप्यूटिक का मतलब बहुत इट्स लाइक अ थेरेपी जो आपको पैसिफाई करती है. इफ आई एम फीलिंग अनवेल, आई गो फॉर अ थेरेपी और मुझे अच्छा फील होता है. दैट काइंड ऑफ एन एक्सपीरियंस इज थेरेप्यूटिक. टीचिंग फॉर मी इज थेरेप्यूटिक. इट मेक्स मी फील बेटर. ठीक है. या फिर रीडिंग बुक्स इज थेरेप्यूटिक. लिसनिंग टू सॉन्ग्स इज थेरेप्यूटिक. आर्ग्यूमेंटेटिव, ओके. नैरेटिव है, डिस्क्रिप्टिव है. यस, इट इज नैरेटिव, इट इज डिस्क्रिप्टिव. इंफॉर्मेटिव, देखो डिस्क्रिप्टिव है तो इंफॉर्मेटिव बाय डिफॉल्ट हो सकता है. अपलॉडिंग, बट मोस्टली इट इज नैरेटिव एंड डिस्क्रिप्टिव, क्योंकि वो बता रहा है कैसे टीम्स बॉटम में जाती हैं, देन दे कम आउट एंड दे रिवाइव, और किन चीजों के लिए हम याद रखेंगे यूरो 2020 को. It's rather than I don't think there are any opinions that the author here is trying to give. Okay, so it's mostly narrative, descriptive, applauding to some parts. All right, let's move on to the next article now. Next article is important. I would like to know your views on it. Okay, ladai mat karna, please. I would like to know your views on the next article. But before I move on to the next article, if you're targeting CLAT 23, we have a foundation course for you. We have approximately 400 live classes in it, 80 plus mock tests, 400 PDFs, thousands of practice questions, mock tests, and I'm going to be a part of this batch as well. This is a counselor's new number. ठीक है? Please speak to them. Technology तुम phone मत कर लेना इधर. Okay, please speak to them if you want to know anything about the course here. Now, understand this article, no chatting amongst yourselves. After I end the article, I would like to know if you, I'll do it today, Anjali. Anjali, I've been keeping a little unwell. Okay, so don't chat amongst yourselves. Tell me what is your opinion and what is the tone of the author by the end of the article. Now, this article talks about the new policy that the UP government is trying to come up with. And this policy has been put in a public domain for now to know public's opinion. Policy ये है कि incentives or disincentives दिए जाएंगे किनको? For people who have so it's basically a population control strategy that the UP government is coming up with along with Assam. Assam is also a BJP ruled state and so is UP. So they're coming up with a population control strategy, and this strategy is anybody with one child will be given incentives. Anybody with two children will also be given some incentives lesser than the person having one child, and anybody having three children or more will be disincentivized. उसको incentives कम मिलेंगे उल्टा negative मिलेंगे नहीं मिलेंगे उससे कुछ opportunities they will be taken back from him. So this is the whole policy that the UP government is coming up with, and the policy has been put in public domain for responses from the public. Let's see what are these incentives, disincentives, and what do you think about this new policy coming in? Because if I put it in a single term, anything that controls a population is welcome because our population is exponential, it's huge. But this kind of a policy, is it a good thing or not? Let's have a look at that. Socio-economic empowerment is more effective than cutting the fertility rate in a very strict manner. What does socio-economic empowerment mean? Socio-economic empowerment होता है देखो पहले क्या होता था when you look at your grandfather and their siblings 5, 6, 7, 10, 11 that number of siblings they used to have. When you look at the number of children people are having these days, it has reduced to maximum of a 2 or even 1. Why has that happened? Has our government taken any kind of strict step like China to control our population? No. The changes that have come are socio-economic empowerment. Empowerment of a woman, social development, social upliftment, education. These things have gradually brought in the change. So this article talks about that. Incentives and penalties form an integral component of the measures of the control population growth announced by the UP chief. So UP Chief Minister Mr. Yogi Adityanath has made 2 clear points. Incentives 1 से 2 children के लिए, penalty 3 or 3 plus children के लिए. Penalty simple. No grey line, black or white कर दिया. These steps are aimed at reducing UP's total fertility rate. Fertility TRF क्या होगा? Total fertility rate 2.7 तक reduce करना वो चाहते हैं. Aims in this direction increasing. अब देखो क्या कैसे वो reduce करेंगे fertility rate को? That is increasing the rate of modern contraceptive prevalence. Contraceptives की presence increase करेंगे. Male contraceptives increase करेंगे. Decreasing maternal mortality. That is the number of women dying during labor and childbirth. And infant mortality को भी वो significantly reduce करना चाहते हैं by 2026. Infant mortality is newborns who die for some disease or some reason or the other are on the face of it in line with what the Cairo International Conference on Population and Development. So Cairo में एक population control और development की एक meet हुई थी और meet में exactly यही चीजें discuss करी गई थी. So UP has started following exactly these things जो 1994 में Cairo में हुई थी. Okay, now the Cairo consensus called for a promotion of reproductive rights. Now reproductive rights is a person, a couple has the right to reproduce or not. So they shouldn't be under any kind of pressure that you have to reproduce because your generation has to go on. Empowering women, because most of the time when you look at villages, women actually do not have a right to reproduction. It's the male member who decides if reproduction has to continue or not. Universal education, everyone, educating everyone, men, women, older, younger, everyone. Maternal and infant health, which is very, very important to untangle the knotty issue of poverty and high fertility. Fertility rate higher थी, इसको अगर handle करना है और poverty को handle करना है, इसको handle करने के लिए these were the things that were discussed in 1994 in Cairo. But rather than taking steps in this direction, government ने इन चीजों की तो बात नहीं करी. These things, empowering women, universal education, maternal infant right, reproductive rights, इनकी बात नहीं करी. Government ने सिर्फ clear एक line बना दी कि पेनल्टी दूंगा या इंसेंटिव दूंगा. So the government actually does not talk about socio-economic empowerment here. So if I look at controlling the fertility rate, this incentive and penalty could be a good idea. But does it improve things at socio-economic level? It doesn't. In draft, the UP population bill, the government aims to incentivize. देखो इनका प्लान क्या है, एक बार प्लान भी देखते हैं. They are going to incentivize one child families with reward. Reward देंगे, 1 लाख रुपए लेके जाओ, reward मिल गया because you have only one child. And those with 2 children with perks in the government scheme. Government scheme में आपको 1% आपका इंटरेस्ट रेट बढ़ा दिया, आपको ज्यादा इंटरेस्ट रेट मिल जाएगा एफडीज पे, ऐसे कुछ पर्क्स दे देंगे. रिबेट इन टैक्सेस एंड लोन्स, विच इज अ गुड थिंग. 2 चिल्ड्रन है तो आपको टैक्सेस में भी रिबेट मिल जाएगा, लोन्स भी इजीली मिल जाएंगे, कैश रिवॉर्ड्स भी मिलेगा, और भी बहुत सारी चीजें मिलेंगी. और जिसके 3 और मोर देन 3 किड्स हैं उसके लिए क्या होगा? इंक्लूड डिनाइल ऑफ सब्सिडीज, कोई सब्सिडी नहीं दी जाएगी आपको. एंड वेलफेयर बेनिफिट ऑल्सो विल नॉट बी गिवन टू यू. A bar on applying for government job. Government job में application में भी आपको problem आएगी because you have 3 children and taking part in local election, you possibly will not be given a chance. अगर ये logic बिहार में लग गया, लालू प्रसाद यादव will never be able to contest in election again in Bihar. So Assam, also led by BJP, is trying to follow a similar policy like UP. The incentive and disincentive approach has been denounced in the past. जो नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट कमीशन था उसने ऐसे इंसेंटिव और डिसइंसेंटिव अप्रोच को एक्चुअली क्रिटिसाइज किया है, डिनाउंस किया कि नो, दिस इज नॉट एन इफेक्टिव अप्रोच. आफ्टर सच मेजर्स वर इंट्रोड्यूस्ड इन सेवरल स्टेट्स इन 1990s एंड 2000s, बहुत सारे स्टेट्स ने फॉलो किया, बट नेशनल ह्यूमन राइट कमीशन सेड नो, दिस इज नॉट अ गुड वे टू डू इट, आई क्रिटिसाइज इट. The states that use this kind of approach were Haryana, undivided Andhra Pradesh, now Telangana, Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, Chhattisgarh, and Odisha. The Supreme Court in 2003 upheld the Haryana government law barring persons with more than 2 children from contesting local body polls. तो Supreme Court ने बोला कि ये अच्छा, ये जो रूल बनाया है कि लोकल इलेक्शन नहीं लड़ सकता कोई भी who has 3 or more than 3 children, ये लॉ को हम नलिफाई करते हैं. But the legal grounding of the moves pining upon the informed choice of individual remained questionable. Right now, how legal is it to stop me from contesting an election if I have 3 or more than 3 children? We don't know how legal is that. How legally can you stop me from contesting an election? It's still questionable. Empirical studies of coercive measures have shown their discrimination. So, लोगों का जो experience है about strict measures like incentives and disincentives, ऐसी चीजों के एक्सपीरियंस से क्या निकल के आता है? दैट डिस्क्रिमिनेशन अगेंस्ट मार्जिनलाइज्ड पीपल, इन पर्टिकुलर with no discernible effect on population control, while more substantive poverty reduction schemes and economic reforms have raised labor productivity, employment. So ये कह रहा है कि ऐसे strict measures का कोई impact नहीं देखा है. impact किसका देखा है? impact हमने देखा है poverty reduction schemes का, economic reforms का impact देखा है, और इनसे क्या होता है? लेबर प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ती है, एम्प्लॉयमेंट अपॉर्चुनिटी बढ़ती है, फैमिलीज में विमेन एम्पावर होती हैं, फर्टिलिटी रेट ग्रेजुअली रिड्यूस होती है. you see, poverty, does it have to do anything with fertility? The poorer a person, the lesser number of children he has. Is there a relationship between poverty and fertility? Can you tell me? Is there a relationship between poverty and fertility rate? That is, number of children a family has. Oh my God. What? Okay. All right. Yes. Okay. So yes, there's a relationship, but I'm just so disturbed. इसको निकालते क्यों नहीं हो यार ग्रुप से कोई? Video team, can you please listen to me? Can you please take this person out of the batch? Okay. So when I say the poorer a person, the lesser number of children the person will have, no, that analogy is absolutely wrong. इंडिया में होके आप ये चीज कभी भी नहीं देख सकते हो. सो टेक्निकली देयर इज नो एनालॉजी बिटवीन द फर्टिलिटी रेट, देयर इज नो डायरेक्ट रिलेशनशिप विद बिटवीन द फर्टिलिटी रेट एंड द पॉवर्टी अ पर्सन इज इन. ठीक है, चलिए. इट्स एन इनवर्स रिलेशनशिप. करेक्ट भव्या, you're absolutely correct. It's an inverse relationship. So to hasten the drop, to replacement levels of fertility, states should tackle the socio-economic issue. को tackle करना ज़्यादा ज़रूरी है, rather than making a clear incentivizing and disincentivizing plan. Now you will tell me the tone of the author here. Yes, absolutely, Nirupama, you're absolutely correct. Females also don't have a say, they're correct. What is the tone, bataiye? That is exactly the problem, Bhagyashri. That is exactly the problem. A lot of poor believe they can possibly deal with poverty by having a lot of children and a lot of earning members in the family. Yahi ek problem hai. Okay? All right. Tone of the author. Absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. And suggestive to some parts. Correct, Khushi? Suggestive to some parts, mostly critical. वो कह रहा है कैसी पॉलिसी है, rather than doing this, do this. Work on socio-economic development. So mostly critical and suggestive. Correct. All right. So what do you think? Are you in support of this kind of a policy? Are you in support of the coercive policy, or are you in support of the socio-economic development policy? What are you in support of? Fertility rate is the number of children a family has. बच्चे क्रिटिकल है अर्शिता, क्योंकि वो इस पॉलिसी को क्रिटिसाइज कर रखा है, ये कैसी पॉलिसी है, उसने कोर्सिव वर्ड यूज किया स्पेसिफिकली इस पॉलिसी के लिए. ही इज सेइंग व्हाट काइंड ऑफ पॉलिसी, दिस विल नॉट ब्रिंग एनी काइंड ऑफ गुड टू यू. Okay, these policies have never been beneficial. So, okay, both 50%, not at all. Socio-economic, yes, very good. You think on the same manner I do. Okay, chalo, ठीक है. So let's look at the caricature quickly by the time you answer this. Caricature बताओ. ओफो, इंडिया विद बीजेपी, ये पॉलिटिकल कहां से हो गया? Okay, tell me about the caricature now. Yes, coercion is against democracy. Absolutely correct. Neutral, Vrinda is neutral. Actually, we're neutral mostly because our population is so high that anything that reduces the population is welcome. I have 130 people like. Why do I have only 74 likes? आज तो मेरी तबीयत भी ठीक नहीं है. You have to reward me with this like. Okay, like my video. Very good. Like it quickly. Yes, it hinders the right to choice of a woman. That is also correct, Khushi. Absolutely correct. फार्मर बिल तो था, अब उसके बाद एक वही बिल जो अभी हम डिस्कस कर रहे थे, एंड द पॉपुलेशन कंट्रोल बिल. Is it too coercive? According to the author, it may be coercive. Both the bills may be coercive. So I'll not give you my opinion here, but the one who has made the caricature thinks both the bills are coercive. Yes, yes, Arshita, that's what the caricature maker thinks. Not I, but the caricature maker. All right. Kishan, it is important if you're targeting 22 and 23. Okay. All right, guys. Sports news, not every article. Chinu, some of them are, some of them aren't. Okay, guys. So I am going to see you tomorrow with an editorial discussion, and I will also see you tomorrow with just a minute. Yes, a marathon, a critical reasoning marathon. So make sure you come on time, and till then, work very hard, and God bless all of you. Have a great day, everyone.